Finally here. Finally here doing this.
You know, it's been a long time coming. We've been chatting about this.
For a long time.
Having
For a long
it's
time.
been years, you know?
No, it really has been. It really has been.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's get right into it. Let's get into how are you and where are you at now at this point in time in life?
Where am I at?
Or even today. Let's start even with today.
Yeah. I don't know, I'm in a really good space right now, actually, which is, it's been nice to just not have to feel like stressed or anxious about too many things. I mean, obviously like life is kind of lifing right now, but I'm trying not to like sit too deeply in that space and like live in it. So I've just been like focused on like things that are bringing me joy and fulfillment, and that's really been helpful towards like my mental state overall, which I'm really thankful for. So I'm just trying to maintain. That's like, I guess like the word of the year is maintain. But yeah, what's it overall? I'm in a good space.
The idea of maintaining, it took you a very long time to get there. What is something that is different about maintaining, you know, your well-being, your mindset this time around versus like, you know, something in the past that you're trying to do something different this time around? Because I feel like you've always maintained, but this time it feels different.
Yeah.
This time this maintenance feels a bit different than any time in the last few years at least.
Yeah, I think I just through like everything that I've gone through, I've just learned so much about remaining in control of yourself, and I think that's probably like the biggest thing for me in terms of how I go about maintaining my peace and maintaining, you know, my focus and whatever goal I'm trying to strive towards in my life. So I don't know, I guess the difference mainly would be like I'm not like so hyper focused on like how things are going to turn out. I mean, obviously it's still like a growing thing for me. Like I still have my moments where I start to panic and I'm just like, fuck, like, but what if this, but what if that? But I can feel myself starting to like come down to more of an understanding of like I literally cannot be in control of every single thing, and that in itself has been helping me to like just kind of like coast regardless of what's happening. There's like that, you know, that meme of like Angela Bassett where she's like walking away and there's like a whole, like a car is on fire, you know, in the background. Like that's kind of like, she's walking away so calmly that that's kind of like the space that I've been in as of late. You know, there's like that fear inside of you. It's like, what if this car blows up, you know? But yeah, I don't know. I have so many things that I've been wanting to do for so long, and I feel like I've been holding my own self back by being so concerned about being in control of everything. And even down to like, you know, how I treat people and like having this like underlying expectation of like how that's going to show up. Even that, there was like a sense of control in that that was essentially holding me back because I was standing in that expectation, you know, or like getting a job somewhere because I was expecting that to like, you know, bring in a certain level of income that would like allow, you know, just having all these like expectations, which are fine, but I think
and natural as well.
Yeah, exactly.
You're always gonna have expectations of yourself.
Exactly, but I think once I sit in it, I think then it becomes, it takes me away from being able to like maintain a sense of peace and maintain a sense of awareness and maintain just anything really. Honestly, that's. I think that's probably like the biggest lesson that I'm learning now is, in order for me to be able to like move forward, I'm gonna have to let go of a lot of things. In order for me to be able to get to a place where I can like maintain anything, I'm gonna have to let go of like, you know, just being in control of anything, and just kind of like trust the process. So,
what have been some of the more challenging things to let go of that you've been able to practice?
I think I'm changing my perspective of like expectations, because I think like I went into everything being like, you know, I have an expectation that that there's going to be a certain outcome to every single thing that I do, and I think now I've kind of let go of that. That's probably one of the biggest things that I've let go of recently, Because I'm learning like you can't really, like literally nothing is set in stone. Like you could have a plan for something and you can go into it and it could be like, okay, you know, this is what's about to happen. And then like, you know, like earlier today we were setting up for this and then there was a protest outside, you know, it's like, I can't have an expectation that things are going to go perfectly or whatever. So I'm kind of just like trying to change that and be like, I can have certain expectations, but I can't have an overall expectation where it's going to be exactly the way that I have it lined up in my mind. It can just be, I expect this to like, to just be a simple, cool thing. However it goes is how it goes. That's as simple as that. That's my expectation, you know, and then just kind of leave it there. So I think just like, yeah, letting go of like expectations, the way that I had it like processed in my mind. I'm letting go of like a lot of pain also, like things that I have just been like sitting and ruminating in for years, like over just whatever experiences I've had, and like just that jaded mindset of like, you know, fuck this, that, and the third, you know, like I'm just like, fuck this thing, I'm never doing that thing again, and like kind of just moving away from it. I feel like I was so angry at the world for a really long time, which again, and in turn only ends up holding me back because it keeps me from being able to put myself out there in ways that a lot of people, I feel like, appreciate, a lot of people need also. I got so caught in my head kind of in a selfish way where I was just like, I don't want to give people what they need because there's so much that I need and I feel so empty. But again, that goes back to the expectation. And at the end of the day, like I got to fill myself up. So I think, yeah, just like letting go of just all that has been like burdening me for so long, has probably, even outside of letting go of expectations, has probably been like the most massive thing that I have really come around to as of late. And
it's huge. I feel like we talk about expectations, and I kind of want to just ask you, like, talk about, like, you know, openly in this space, what these expectations were of Adria, all these people, all of these things, you know, as the artist, right? As the artist, as people who see you a certain way. What were those expectations that you felt like you were always receiving and you were processing, and now you're trying to redefine it and change the narrative about it. Yeah,
I think for the longest time I got so wrapped up in like, okay, I'm Adria Kain, the artist, so what does that mean? What is that supposed to look like? It's supposed to look like, it's not supposed to look like anything but like me naturally, because that's literally who I am.
Because when you go in as an artist, you're the one with the ideas, you're the one creating all of these things.
Exactly.
And then, you know, when you put your art out there, what and you've been doing it for years, right? I think a lot of people will know that you've been doing it for a long time, but don't really understand or see it every single day. The way you you go about, you know, your art, the way you approach your life. So I think this is it's interesting, the space that you're in now, to talk about these were the expectations that were set. Yeah. Not just for me, that I set, that you set, but people were setting for you, and trying to redefine that. Yeah, I would love to hear more about that.
Yeah, I think I got way too caught up in like how I felt like people needed me to be. Especially, it's a really scary thing to kind of like put yourself out into the world as an artist, because then you're opening yourself up to like everyone's, you know, opinions and perspectives and like ideas, and then you sometimes you get so wrapped up in it and lost in it that you don't even know what's for you anymore. You know, it's kind of just like, fuck, okay, I just wanted to put out this song that I really liked, that I thought was cool, that I made. And I really liked my voice over this instrumental or whatever it was. Like it usually starts off that simply for me, or like I love the sonics behind like how the song, whatever it was for me that like you know I created, and like why it inspired me enough to be like, I want to share this. It's a really scary thing to do because you forget that it comes with people listening, and then people listening, they're gonna come with a whole bag of shit, sometimes nothing at all, and then it's either going to be, yo, like we love this, we need more, like put out more, like keep doing this thing, and then you got to try to figure out like, okay, like you want the exact same thing, or do you want like you just want more songs from me? Like there's just so much to think about. It's either that or it's like the not listening part, where it's just like, does anybody actually care about what I'm doing? Is anyone else as excited, you know? And then I just get like in my head about every single thing, and then I pay attention to like what everybody else is doing, like my peers, people that are doing the same things as me, and then I get like wrapped up in like the differences, and like, you know, if this person is doing it this way, like should I do it this way? Like that looks cool, you know, and other people seem to think it's cool, like is that how I should present myself? Like I think I got way too caught up in all of that, and let go of like who I am by nature, which is like I'm literally just me. I think that like there's a lot of things that I'm really interested in that I think is cool, and I think it's okay for me to put myself out there and just like enjoy that, and that's it, and just kind of like just bask in that, and like for lack of a better word, I guess like capitalize off of it without, not even in a monetary way, but just kind of like capitalize off of the talent and just like just live in that a little bit longer. If that makes sense. So I think I got so like deeply wrapped up in like just everyone else's opinions and like how I think I should be versus like just focusing on who I am and like how I am and how I'm just putting myself out there. And it really just took a toll on my mind for like a really long time. And
what helped you get to a different space, different place in your mind?
Honestly, it was just being real with myself. I think there was I got to a certain place where I was like at the edge of the cliff, and I was just like, yo, I actually don't want to jump off this cliff. Like, this is
I'm at the edge already.
Yeah, like I was literally like right there, like getting ready, like 1 foot off. Like all I gotta do is take the other foot off, and then I'm about to, you know, plummet to my death. And once I got there and like felt the discomfort of that, and like was being real with like the fact that I'm actually terrified of this, I started to just kind of like take steps back, like off the edge a little bit, and just kind of like pay attention to things, and started to realize like a lot of this shit that I'm like ruminating over is not even real, you know, like it's also a lot of these things that I've been paying attention to that I've been taking so seriously, like a lot of these people, like everyone's just trying to figure it out. Like there's no like thing that's set in stone. There's no, even though like the industry always pitches like there's a way that you have to do this, like none of that actually exists. I think everyone is just kind of like testing and feeling things out and like hoping for the best. And I was so caught up in like, okay, well this person said that this is how it goes, so like I have to do it this way, and it's like that's not even the case at all. I think it's just like literally remain true to what you do and who you are, and be consistent in that, and eventually that will start to go wherever it needs to go, and then you can kind of build from there. But I think just like literally being like coming to my senses, I guess, is what helped me. And then also just like having like a really good community of people around me that like pay attention enough to like know who I am for real and will literally tell me about myself. I think I love when people are real and raw with me and don't like beat around the bush, don't fabricate their words, and don't like, you know, I refer to myself as a poet sometimes because it's hard for it has been hard for me in the past to just be direct about things, and I'm trying to like practice that a bit more, because I'm learning the importance of like direct communication and just like saying what it is, just from seeing like it in my own healing, and the way people have been direct with me. Sometimes it's like things that I feel like I don't want to hear, but I'm like, the reality is I actually needed to hear this, especially over the last like year and a half. I feel like my friends have just been giving it to me. Like they've really just been telling me about myself. And it's really funny, honestly, because especially because I've been stepping back, I start to like, I have to admit, I'm just like, yo, I was really dumb in a lot of decisions that I made.
You just weren't there
yet. Okay. Yeah,
I
wasn't there yet. It's okay. Like I'm not mad at myself about it either. Like it's all a learning experience. I was a child, so I'm just trying to figure things out, you know. And now that in my adulthood, like really being an adult for real.
Being more intentional with this is what I want to do. Yeah, this is what I'm trying to do now moving forward.
Exactly. This is what I want in general. Like this is what I want it to feel like, look like, smell like, you know, be like, whatever. Like, and I want to just like live in that more than I ever have. Yeah, it just, I think it's really taken a weight off of my shoulders, like out of my mind. And yeah, just allowed me to kind of come back to myself, which has been nice.
And I feel like that's this transition, this period of time is very truly. We talked about this all the time, that this is a very special time, because I think you're now realizing where you've been and where you are, and you're now changing into or becoming more of exactly who you've always wanted to be.
Yeah.
And now you're doing so much more as an artist, and not just limiting yourself to just music. Kind of, I'd like to see what you'd say about this. How did you get to design, your interest in design and growing in curation and exhibits, and we talk about all of our ideas about how do you show the world this is who Adria Kain is outside of just what people have seen the last 5, 7, 10 years, who people have been really, following, right? So I mean, I'm in that. I'm also wanted to hear how did you get there? How are you moving towards the steps of this place so that you're in now?
I feel like it's been kind of like an ongoing journey, like my whole life. But again, I was like so far away from myself that I didn't fully lock into it until recently. Because I went to school for digital media arts, which is basically like pretty much like so many different mediums kind of combined in one course. Because we were painting, we were learning graphic design, we were doing photography, we were doing sound design, like just all of it. And I realized that a lot of that I'm really passionate about in so many different ways. And I can see the bigger picture of how you can combine all of those things together to make like one massive like mural, I guess you could say, like life mural. So
I like that.
Yeah, and I've always been, for like an extremely long time at least, like from when I was a teenager, I can remember just being really inspired by interior design, and that kind of like led me over to just learning about how I can find inspiration through like the way that I set up a room, or like a space that I walk into that like feels comfortable, or feels like somebody who has a certain sense of or level of taste, and I don't know, it just has a really like just like left field like view on like how things can kind of be placed in a room. Was like just, it kind of opened up a door for me, and I was like, oh, like it's almost like a blank canvas, and you can kind of like do whatever you want with that. You can literally put colors in whatever corner you want, and you can set it up however you want, and the shapes can be whatever you want it to be. And I just find that extremely inspiring for me personally. So I started playing around with that a little bit, and then I started remembering things that came back to me again, like things that I'm passionate about, and how I can like expand on it. Like if I like music, it doesn't mean I can only play music in my place. I can also like have different elements. Like I have record players, and I have, speakers that don't really even work, but I'm just using it as a design thing because it just looks really dope,
And it fills up a space the way it feels.
Exactly.
Right? Like you come from a place of it feels something than it is what it is, right? Like
Exactly.
You're coming from an imaginative place.
Exactly. Right? I think the imaginative place has become really important for me. Because I know it's authentic to like a vision that I have for like the way I see my life. So I want to try to like take that out of my mind and like bring it to life and make it a reality and like live in it.
How do you see that? I want to see how do you see your life now, and where do you want to see your life go?
How do I see my life now? Honestly, it's a little chaotic, and I'm still trying to figure things out. I feel like I'm learning still in all of this. But I want to eventually get to a place where I see things like landing in a way that makes sense. Like, and I see it coming together sometimes. Like if I, like for example, like even my space, like the way that I've designed it, when I walk into the room, it's just like, it's literally just white and blank, and there's things placed in awkward positions, and sometimes I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna make this work. But I'll just start placing things, and then once I start placing things, I start to like see how things can make sense. How I can kind of build out things that I would have never even imagined if I didn't place the first thing, And then, just kind of like let myself figure it out. I try not to put too much pressure on myself when it comes to just how I design or really think about anything in terms of a space that I walk into. I want to be able to like make it my own in whatever way. And it's also really cool to just see people react to it too when they come into it and express to me how it makes them feel. I think that's it's become important to me as well.
It's cool because this is my first time being in your space, and it feels like a home that you've been in for
A while. Like I've been here, yeah.
Yeah.
That's also like, I think I've been like trying to find a home for so long, so I've been creating that in every space that I've been in over the last little while. Like I'm just like, okay, like I want to feel like I've lived here forever, and I also want it to feel like a sanctuary where when I step outside, it's like I forgot that I was in Toronto, you know, like I was away for a minute. It's almost like my little Airbnb or like, you know, my little Sonder space. I don't know, I love that feeling. I love that I've created that for myself. I wanna expand on it a bit more and see where it goes.
Expand on the definition of what home means to you.
Exactly. Yeah, that's kind of the space that I've been in lately, because I feel like I've been just reaching for that and striving for that. Even like whenever people ask me what my end goal is, it's always like, I just want a stable home. I want to have a place where I want to be in a place where I can provide for my family so that they can have stability and they can have a home that's comfortable, and then be able to do the same thing for myself. That's something I've never really had. I've kind of just been bouncing around my whole life and just trying to figure things out. And I feel like I'm ready to settle down now and figure out like how I want to design my life so that it is comfortable for me. I don't want to be, you know, going from place to place anymore, unless I'm traveling like intentionally, you know. But yeah, I'm excited to see like where this whole, like why this concept is calling to me, or it has been calling to me for so long, and kind of expand on it and just see where it takes me. I'm excited to, you know, embark on the journey of finding my home, essentially. So
what would you like to accomplish at the end of this year?
I think I want to stabilize my life. That's really the main focus for me right now. I feel like I've just been saying it for so long and didn't really have an idea of like how to get there. And I also didn't have the means either. I wasn't working. I've been pursuing music for over 10 years, just independently, like without supporting myself financially. I had no financial backing at all. So, and I think I'm in a space now where I want to just like, you know, if I have any like outstanding debts or like whatever, in order for me to be able to build towards this idea of like finding a home, I also need to like stabilize my life. So I think that's like the goal that I'm setting out for this year, is to finally, even if it's just like see the beginning stages of it coming into fruition, like that's ultimately what I'm working towards this year. So literally nothing else. Like the music, all the creative stuff is gonna happen naturally. I'm not really focused on like anything specific, like I need to put out a project this year, I need to, you know, be going on this festival, doing this tour, whatever. Right now for me it's just like working towards stability so that I can even do any of those things, because it's always been in the back of my mind. It's always been something that I've been working towards, but like not actually, you know. I want to put more intention into it, put my foot down towards it a little bit more. So yeah, that's it. That's my end goal.
What would one more thing? I want one more question. I know Dale's gonna hate me for this because he's like, go wrap this up quick. But what I want to ask is like, how would you like to be remembered as Adria Kain, the artist? What would you say to somebody that when someone asks you like who you are as an artist, who you want to be remembered as at the end of when you continue moving forward? What was this? What is this? The ideas, the expectations of who you have to be or supposed to be from your own voice and perspective. Who is Adria Kain, the artist, now and forever?
I think I want to be, even outside of the artist, I think I just want people to remember me as like the human, like as amazing as I was in my artistry. I never let go of the human, you know. I want people to know that I'm very approachable. Like you can literally talk to me. I think there's like this whole thing where you see somebody like, you know, go wherever, become successful in any way, they feel like out of reach, or like people get really nervous and they don't know how to approach. And I want to be an approachable person. I want people to know that like you can find comfort in talking to me or being around me, being in the same spaces as me, or like, you know, even if it's backstage or like somewhere where you can't have access, like I want to give you access, or like approach people, at least even if they're standing on the outside, to just like let them know that I'm literally right here still, and it's
still the same.
Yeah, exactly. I'm still me regardless of where I end up. my main goal is to just try to inspire people to like know that they can literally be in the same space as me in whatever capacity if you just work towards whatever your vision is, you know. So, and like stay true to you. So I think that's it. That's it for me. I don't want to be like a major artist. Like I want people to think of me as the best singer or whatever. I just want to be human. That's my main goal.